Hey, y'all. Welcome to Cross Politic on the Fight Laugh Feast Network. Again, no Pastor Toby, no Knox, just me, the water boy, one-on-one with you. You on your TV, you on your YouTube, you on your podcast. You get to just hang out with me. And I got a great guest, an old friend. He's actually on the network, too. John Branyan, comedian John Branyan's coming on today. It's been, I don't know. I feel like it's been a year. It's probably been 3 years since me and John last came on the show together. So we're going to talk about AI, comedians, art and AI, all this stuff. And it's, I think this topic is actually more important than we probably realize. I think the older generation, kind of the age, 65 and older, you guys are probably not going to have to deal with or maybe touch AI too much or know that you're touching AI. It might be happening with your medical records or other things that they're coming up in contact with. But I think in general, your generation is not going to have to deal with AI in the way my generation is going to have to deal with it. And more importantly, our kids. Like our kids are going to face AI in all sorts of ways in the future. So, and in this sense, technology, it can change everything. I mean, you guys know this. We saw it with smartphones. We saw it, with, goodness, the way older generations. Remember when we didn't have electricity or didn't have even phones in the house, or even cell phones began, internet began, all that stuff. And so technology changes everything, and it's just not coming for your world. It's coming into it. Like especially think about AI. It's coming into our world in a way that for years I've looked at AI as like, okay, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Okay, maybe it's starting to be helpful a little bit. There's perplexity. You can kind of AI helps you kind of Google better, and then eventually it's actually going to help you really solve and do tasks for you. So it's not fully there to where I think it's not past the early adopter stage is what I'm saying. I don't think it's past that yet. But again, as I pointed out, your children and your grandchildren are really going to be having to deal with this. So, don't believe the lie as Christians that we should just leave AI alone. It won't impact it won't impact your kids. It won't impact you. It's coming, and what matters is whether or not you're ready for it. And this applies, as I said, to any technology. So what does it mean to take dominion in a world shaped by or influenced by or affected by algorithms? Where does faith meet machine learning? You like that? Where does faith meet machine learning? And if AI is here to stay, who should be in control? I remember when the smartphone started. I remember when cell phones started. And I think almost, at least in my lifetime, I'm 45, turning 46 here soon. I remember in my lifetime that Christians were constantly late to the game. They were a little nervous of technology, maybe a little ignorant of technology, maybe a little, it was over-promising and under-delivering. But the Christians were late to technology almost at every stage that I saw it. The cell phone, the smartphone, the blogs, the social media. It was always constant. I was from the church or from Christians, I was constantly being warned against it, or tread lightly into it. And I think the better approach for Christians is actually take dominion over it and lead into it. And I think what better way to have this conversation than actually having it with a comedian like my friend John Branyan, who comedians think differently. John is a little strange. No, I'm just kidding. But comedians think differently about things. And so I would really like having kind of angular conversations on, technology like AI. So let me bring John Branyan into the show. John Branyan is a seasoned professional known for his clean, family-friendly comedy that's safe for all ages. As a Christian comedian and dry bar comedy star. If you haven't catch his dry bar stuff, it's great. John brings laughs that are not only entertaining, but also uplifting. His philosophy is that comedy is a gift from God, designed to help us navigate life's struggles and find joy in the midst of suffering. John also hosts The Comedian Next Door, which is on the Fight Laugh Feast Network. So make sure you check out what him and often his daughter joins him on the show. And then sometimes he's got some friends that come on the show on our network. You can go to the FLF app, download the FLF app and break that up and catch John Branyan and The Comedian Next Door. John, it's so good to have you back on the show, man.
I am so happy to be talking to you, yes. Gabe. We may get to the topic at hand, or we may just shoot the breeze. It's up to you.
It could go either way. So I'm just going to call you on it, John. How old are you? How old are you right now?
59.
59. So, and what made you aware of AI technology, and how did you initially come across it?
I'm always been an early adopter on computer and tech and stuff like that. So I'm always the guy. When I was young, I was always the guy who had the first
pogo stick.
Yeah, whatever it was. And so AI, I became aware of it basically through it's search engines. The search engine Google, and before that you had Ask Jeeves and so on.
Yeah.
And that was just fascinating to me, that this thing, you could ask it about ducks or boomerangs or something, and it would go, well, here's all the things that you might want to go and look at. And that was the sort of my introduction to AI. I didn't know it was AI at the time.
Right.
That's how I became aware of it.
Okay, and then now you became aware of it, and then obviously you started thinking. And well, let me start here. How do you, from your perspective, how are you defining AI, artificial intelligence?
Right. That's what it means. I think it's misnamed. I think artificial, yes. Intelligence. We're, as a society, we're sloppy about defining what we mean by intelligence. We say, well, this is intelligent, and what does that mean?
We call Democrats intelligent.
Well, that's my point. We refer to them as intelligent human beings, even though we think that their ideas, many of them, are completely stupid and evil
and upside down. Right.
Yeah, and so artificial intelligence is, the way I think people understand it, is that it's thinking, and intelligence is the ability to think and the ability to reason. It's rational thought. And that's why it's misnamed, because AI is not actually reasoning. It's not. They tell you that it is. They tell you can talk to this thing and it'll reason your question and do deep research.
Yeah.
But all it's doing is matching patterns. That's it.
Yeah.
It's got a massive database of all of these connected patterns. And so when you ask it a question, it searches through, finds those patterns that align with the question, and then presents that to you.
Yeah.
And so it does what we do. We can find patterns. And I'll give you an example of how this works. So I say, I'm thinking of an animal, and I'm going to give you a word, and then I want you to tell me what animal I'm thinking of. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of a creature,
an
animal, and it swims. So what is it?
Penguin.
A penguin. Okay. Let me add another word. It swims and it lays eggs.
Penguins lay eggs.
Very good.
I'm 2 for 2.
You're 2 for 2. Okay. So we're zeroing in with the pattern matching here.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to say it has webbed feet. What am I thinking of?
Penguin still.
And now I'm going to say it has fur.
Yep. We're thinking the same.
It has fur.
I am artificial intelligence.
What is it? Do penguins have fur?
Yes, they do. Yeah. 100%. 100%. You can't get away from the penguin right now, John.
Are you sure of that?
Yes. 100.
Okay. I'm going to say it's venomous.
Okay. You lost me. I know of no venomous penguins. Maybe that should be our thumbnail. A venomous penguin devouring AI.
No, it's a platypus. Did you know platypuses are
I didn't know they're venomous, but I was going to say platypus. That was going to be my first one. I was like, no, I'm going to throw a curveball. Penguin.
Well, what we did is a very human thing, and we matched the pattern. There was through a process of elimination, things that didn't fit, and that's similar to what AI
if then's not that kind of
right.
Yeah,
but that's it. It's not actually after it settles on platypus or penguin, if you prefer, AI has no idea what it is. AI has no concept of penguin other than this pattern matches other patterns. Therefore, that's what we're presenting to you.
And so the way I've described AI, when you're breaking down the nuts and bolts, it's just a bigger algorithm than algorithms that we built already, and you get and whatever is in that algorithm, you get garbage. If you put garbage in that algorithm, you're going to get garbage out.
Correct.
Which is AI lied to me today. We were doing I was chatting. Me and my buddy were working on our email platform, and we were chatting with the AI bot that's part of the company, and we were asking it, "Hey, we can't find this feature," and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's there." That's all it said. Oh yeah, it's there. And then we asked it again, "Where is it?" It's like, actually, it's not there. And then, it was really weird how it said it's there, and then it actually called its own lie and said, actually, I was wrong. It's not there. Anyways.
So AI lies to me every day. Just like that, where it'll say, here's what you should do, A, B, C. And you go and do A, B, C, and you go, AI, that didn't work. And it goes, oh, that's right. Of course it didn't work, because not supposed to work. Yeah. And so you get that all the time.
Yeah. So, I guess before I get to this next question, like, what are the strengths you see in AI generally? I got a more specific follow up here in a minute, but what are the strengths you see, maybe strengths and weaknesses you see in AI?
It's an incredible tool for doing research, for doing compilations and summaries of massive amounts of data. If you haven't used Notebook LM, it's free, and you can take your documents, you can take massive amounts of PDFs or TIFFs or whatever. You can take YouTube videos, put them into Notebook LM, and then you can talk to it and say, summarize what are the top 5 topics and 3 subtopics underneath it, and then give me you can talk to it, and it will do that with your data. It's extremely helpful.
We have a tool called Poppy, Poppy or whatever, where what's been helpful with that tool and us is we'll take our show and put it in there along with, let's say, a YouTube, educational course on how to make a good show, and then we'll put our show in there and say, hey, is this did we get this right? Did our show line up with what was instructed in this video? Did we get our thumbnail right? Did we get, the intro right? Are we pacing well? Stuff like that. It's the nice thing I think one of the things I like about AI best is when it's kind of an insular format where it's not needing to go out and grab information from all over the web or whatever, because that's where it can lie, but comparing things, mapping out things within kind of an insular AI framework, like Poppy is what I'm referring to, and everything. And it's been the feedback value has been super helpful for us, as we're always trying to improve our show, always trying to do better, stuff like that.
Right. Well, it's great at doing things where it can analyze patterns and say, okay, how well does this match up with the patterns that it's supposed to be matching up with? Yeah. It's excellent at that, and it saves tons of time.
So, it seems to me that artists are most threatened by AI in terms of their jobs. Like, you got writers, screenwriters, script writers, all. You got VUE 3 or whatever, VUE 3 from
VO from Google.
Is it Google or Microsoft? Maybe you're right. Google. Maybe it's Google. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you got like a capacity for it to develop videos based off prompts, short commercials, 8-second clips based off prompts, stuff like that. And so artists have talked a lot. I mean, there's a big, what is it? The Writers Guild. One of their protests last time they protested was that AI's coming and we want our stuff protected. That was part of it. And of course, the subscription thing was a big part of it for them too. So how you as a comedian looking at AI?
What is it gonna replace me? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the bigger. Yeah, is it going to replace you? The bigger conversation, is it going to be competitive with you? Actually, no. I want your answer first. I want your answer first. Go.
No, it's not going to replace. It's not going to replace the arts. It's going to. That's not to say that there aren't going to be people who are going to generate 100% AI generated content and put it out into the public. That's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
But the level of artistry required to produce good film, good literature, good art, it still requires a human soul to direct it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have a human being who reasons and thinks and possesses a soul, it's lost. It's garbage.
So are you saying AI doesn't have a soul, therefore it can't produce good comedy?
I'm saying it can produce good comedy, but it requires a soul to realize that it's good. When a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound and no one's around to hear it? And the answer is no, because a sound is something that is heard.
Yeah.
And so if you look at a piece of artwork that's generated by AI, you're going to make a determination about the quality of that. Yeah. You're going to say, this is good art. I like this. I don't like this. Here's why.
Yeah.
As soon as you start doing that, you're operating at a level above what AI is capable of.
Yeah.
Because all it can do is offer patterns to who?
Yeah.
You can offer patterns to other AI, but other AI is not going to have anything to evaluate those patterns with. It takes a human being.
My take on that is, again, this goes back to AI. It only can work with what was put in it, and it can't. Well, two things there. So the comedy that it does produce, someone already said that joke somewhere.
Right.
The comedy that it does produce. Secondly, it doesn't know what funny is, because to your point, it doesn't have a soul. It doesn't know what funny is because it can't experience laughter. It doesn't know what funny is. Because to a machine, what is funny? You got to have a heart, soul, and mind to be able to connect with that joke.
I have spent a couple of years trying to teach AI to write comedy.
Have you?
I've spent hundreds of hours trying to get it to write comedy the way I write comedy. I've tried to teach it my comedy writing system, and it can't do it.
Yeah.
It's got I can't go into all of it. I've got hundreds of hours, but essentially I can get it to where it can recognize a joke, and I can get it dialed in with a joke, and then it goes, "Guys, I got it. I get you." You know how AI always tells you how great you are. It's like, that's excellent. You explained it perfectly. I understand.
Yeah.
And then I'll say, okay, write 3 more jokes like this, and it can't do it.
That's funny. So I got 2 AI comedian. I'm going to bring into. I want your feedback.
I think I've seen these, but
okay. Let's go ahead and roll the first AI comedy joke clip.
Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything.
That's it. It's a funny joke. What's crazy is that's AI. The whole thing's AI. The laughter, the noises, the background noises, all that. It's pretty crazy.
The joke is not. The AI did not write that joke.
Yeah. Who wrote that joke? That was my first question.
I don't know, but I've heard it.
Yeah. Okay.
It is the duty of the free man to resist tyranny at every turn. Every man will either watch his freedom stripped away or take action to protect what he loves. Introducing the A3, the newest revolutionary body armor from Armored Republic. The A3 is the new standard for lightweight multi-hit body armor. A3 plates are incredibly light at 4.6 pounds. The patented design captures fragmentation while remaining multi-hit capable. The A3 will stop up to M80 ball, yet comes in at only 0.7 inches thick. The A3 is the thinnest NIJ .06 compliant or certified composite standalone plate that includes the drop test. The A3 is the first of its kind, patent pending, that combines an alloy strike face with polyethylene backing, revolutionizing body armor technology by providing strength and durability while remaining sleek and maneuverable. The A3 is the new standard in lightweight body armor. The fight against tyranny just got stronger.
America is a country that was founded for the purpose of allowing Christians to do their duty before God and not to have their consciences ruled by the doctrines and commandments of men. Reese Fund exists in order to see the 10 Commandments properly applied, not just as a plaque on the wall, but to actually be used in business as though they're commandments from God that we're supposed to obey. Our goal is to find businesses and to buy them and to build them up. We want to find manufacturing businesses and use them to make sure that we can maintain our capacity to do things here. Reese Fund, Christian capital, boldly deployed.
Again, that's like AI is incapable of like producing a unique joke. Roll the second clip.
So I went to the zoo the other day, and all they had was one dog. It was a Shih Tzu.
Get it? Get it?
It's a total dad joke. It's a dad joke.
Yeah. That's not a bad joke. And that's a, but AI could produce a joke like that. It could recognize the play on words, and it could give you that joke.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and again, like AI's that I think that was a Google video, 8-second video clip where AI created the whole laughter, the delivery of it. I mean, the delivery of it sounds pretty good. The pause, the timing. I mean, it's pretty amazing what it's able to.
And how did it do that? Well, it's been fed a stand-up comedy material and videos, and so you look at that, and it looks just like an episode of the Improv, which makes sense because that's how AI thinks stand-up comedy looks.
Yeah. And AI is able to catch audience laughter and all that because so again, like what AI is functionally doing is only working with what's been put into it.
Correct.
And it's all been human driven. I said this in the opening comments. Christians have not led the world in adopting new technology. How are you thinking about AI? How are you thinking about it? I think Christians should lead the way with AI. And how to use it, teaching the world how to use it. We've been so passive and responsive. By the time we get, massive, adoption, let's say, of the mobile phone, well, you got pornography on it or whatever.
Right. As
opposed to, okay, Christians, let's show the world how to do this. How are you thinking about, Christians maybe, leading the way in this kind of AI technology?
I don't think that there's any way to prevent the corruption and the sin from happening. Even if we are quote unquote out front on AI, this is not our world. This belongs to the adversary for the time being, and so there's always going to be.
That's where my post mill meets your pre mill.
Well, I know, but there's always going to be porn. That's my point.
Yeah,
and but. I don't think that Christians, I agree with you. I don't think that Christians should be afraid of it. I don't think we should avoid it because it's bad and evil. It's a tool like anything else. And so a tool in the hands of an evil person does evil, but a tool in the hands of a righteous person does righteousness.
Yeah. So recently we've even had a little bit of debate on our show, tiny debate. AI, particularly Elon Musk, is coming out with AI robots.
Yeah.
And you better believe I'm buying that robot to mow my yard. 100%. I'm buying that robot to do my wife's laundry.
You know that they already have robots that will mow your yard.
Yeah,
right?
but I want one to do more than just mow my yard. I don't
Okay.
need a robot just to mow my yard. I want an intelligent robot.
Right. And so who is arguing with you about that? What's the other side?
Well, I mean, I think, again, I think people are very hesitant with the robot thing. First of all, it's kind of like this what, soulless human walking around your house or something. You know, it's this soulless being.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a little like nervousness there. Where I'm nervous with the robot is I want to disconnect the robot from its creator. That whatever internet technology that's connecting the robot to its creator, I want it severed. You know, I want that robot siloed in my house. You know, because who knows what iRobot, mastermind is back there and say, okay, it's time to kill Gabe now.
So you're
click.
You're going to keep your robot locked in the basement in a dark corner, chained to the wall.
I'm going to put foil all over my house
to do your service. And
yes, that's right. Yeah. That's it. I'm going to put foil all over my house so the robot can't communicate with
your robot's not going to get to talk to the television set or the dishwasher. He's completely.
It's gonna take the dishes out of the dishwasher, but it's not. Yeah, no, none of that. Yeah. So, but here, look at this video. I think, and I'd say there's other, or as people would see it, as other threats. Let's say, now a robot can do the assembly line. Now a robot can, self-drive a truck or whatever. Now a robot can unload the truck. We don't need any humans on the 18-wheelers anymore, that kind of stuff. So there's other threats that as people would view it. I wouldn't view it that way. But here's a video, kind of just, just watch this video. It's really interesting. Close the curtain. Now look at this video. They show all the robots doing these various activities.
Household chores.
But that's where the robot learned how to do it, was they recorded a human doing it.
Right.
And then they took that recording and the robot basically imitated what happened, was able to imitate what happened.
Right.
Yep. How do you basically, how would you view would you buy a robot to clean your house, to mow your yard, to apparently make vegetable stew or something?
Make vegetable stew. It would depend on what kind of recipe. I would not buy a robot if it made meatloaf. If it ever made a meatloaf, I would unplug it.
Yeah.
And
no kale, no sandpaper, lettuce.
Right. Yeah. The answer is yes. If I am a believer in making machines do what machines can do better than people, or using machines to free up people to do things that only people can do. And I think that is why one of the reasons that God has given us the ability to create things, and we can learn physics and engineering and chemistry so that we can invent things.
Yeah.
We can build things.
Yeah.
And if a machine can go and do my dishes while I play a board game with my family, how is that bad? How is that a lose? Yeah.
Yeah. I got a follow-up thought here and question, but hang on. Let me get to this, get to our sponsors here. What's the most important thing you can do each week? Worship. That's it. Worship. Go to church. What happens for a lot of the service? You sing. So if music is taking up most of that most important thing you do, we want to know, how musical is your home and your kids' curriculum? Bonet Music Academy teaches live music lessons in Moscow, Idaho, and online. That's the underline that, online. Currently serving 28 states. At BMA, we teach music as a language, and that means you get voice and instrument training. This helps each student get really good at reading, learning, and practicing all kinds of music. We also partner with Christian schools and co-ops to expand their curriculum needs. So go to bonetma.com/crosspolitic. That's Bonet, Bonet, BOHNETMA, letter M as in mama, A as in apple.com/crosspolitic. Now, here's the catch. You get to set up a free consultation to talk about your family or your school's needs. And as a bonus, here's the catch. We'll tell you 2 funny stories about Gabe in the consultation. So ask them. I'm curious. I want to know those 2 funny stories myself. So tell Siri to make a reminder to go to bonetma.com/crosspolitic. That's Bonet, BOHNETMA.com/crosspolitic, and schedule a free meeting with them today. Folks, we have our conference coming up in Nashville, Tennessee, October 15th through the 18th. The 15th is actually a corporate partner dinner. So if you're a business that's interested in joining our corporate partner dinner, we have last year we had about 150 businesses there. We'd love for you to join us at our corporate partner dinner. That's on the 15th. Just email me, waterboy@crosspolitic.com for the corporate partner dinner information. But anyways, school wars. The topic is school wars. In a garden long ago, our first parents fell to the Dark Lord's deception, sparking a cosmic war between light and darkness. Today, the battle rages in the hearts of young, future warriors in a struggle old as time. Dark forces cloak their lies in promises of peace, wielding imperial government schools to mold children into their minions of a godless empire. Yet hope rises. Nearly 10 million kids have escaped, trained by parents and faithful Christian schools in ways of the light. The resistance is growing, so join us and the rebellion. October 16th through the 18th in Rocket Town in Nashville, Tennessee. The faithful gather to strategize and rally, train the children, train the young to launch them into battle and reclaim the galaxy for the triune God. The Spirit is with us. Christendom's war begins anew. Go to fightlaughfeast.com to register now. And if you're a business, you can join us at our corporate partner dinner. Email me about that. And you click on the sponsor if you want to sponsor a booth or one of our major sponsorships at the conference. You can sign up there too. So join now. All club members, if you join the club even now, all club members get $50 off per family member. Join the club. Make sure we know you joined the club, and then you'll use your same email in the sign up to get that discount of $50 off per family member. Seating is super limited this year, 900 seats total. And so sign up now. Seats will be gone, fast. So go to fightlaughfeast.com to register now. John, one of the things I was thinking about, and we talk about kind of playing off you a little bit too. We talk about fighting the curse. And well, what better way to fight the curse? Because one of the things it says, God says in Genesis is like, hey, Adam, by the sweat of your brow, right? By the sweat of your brow. That's part of the curse for Adam. Is the work's gonna be hard by the sweat of your brow. Well, if I could have him mow my yard and I'm inside not sweating, I feel like I'm fighting the curse. I'm like, I look outside my window, it's 100 degrees, my robot's mowing, and I'm not sweating.
Right.
I don't know. Not a very good argument. I mean, it's just,
Yeah. Well, I wasn't prepared for that question. I'm going to have to get back with you.
I mean, this is a Genesis. This is like, a base, a base argument, You know what I'm saying? Total base.
I do have a observation from the Old Testament that has to do with the Tower of Babel.
Yes.
And it is, it's this, that when I was a kid and I heard the story of the Tower of Babel in Sunday school, I could never figure out why God was mad at people for trying to build a tower to reach him. You'd always hear that story, and like people tried to build, and so God confused their language and sent them everywhere. And as a kid, I'm like, I don't understand why God was upset that we were trying to reach him.
Yeah.
Because that's what he wanted us to do.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was old enough to read with a little bit more discernment that I saw that line in there where it says, let's build this tower so we can make a name for ourselves.
Yeah.
We wanted to build this tower to God, not we wanted to get to God, but because we wanted to brag about our accomplishments.
Yeah.
We wanted to do this thing. And then so God said something after that. He goes, well, I got to confuse their language, because otherwise there's nothing that they will not be able to accomplish. God was literally saying, I put so much potential into these human beings that the sky is the limit. They will be able to do whatever they put their minds to. And so he confused, scattered us. Well, then you fast forward to now. We have in our hands a phone that I can talk into it to somebody in Germany or China or Russia all at the same time, and they will hear what I say in their language in real time. So we've overcome the Babel thing. And so my question was, well, why would God allow that? Why would God allow us to do this thing? And I think it's because it's artificial intelligence that makes that happen. It's not a real person. It's not a real entity. It's fake. It's the communication is still, it still requires a human being to speak those words. All that the AI does is just matches the patterns for a particular language. The thoughts, the communication, everything are still coming from a person. But it is astounding that we've built something that can do that. You know, that seems to me even more impressive than a big tower. We have done an incredible thing. And so the question is, who gets the credit for that? Who do we give glory to for AI? Do we give it to the engineers? Do we give it to Elon Musk? Do we give it to those guys? Or do we say, no, this is a thing that God has enabled us to create for his glory?
That's good. So, okay. That's a helpful, I think, analogy there. What if Christian parents were to ask you, should I be excited about AI or should I be terrified about AI? You know, what would you tell them?
Well, that's the reason that I wanted to come and talk to you guys about AI, was because I have a lot of Christian friends who are mildly to extremely concerned about AI. I've got people who are worried it's going to take their jobs, all the way up to people who think it's going to become self-aware, you know, and we're actually going to have real intelligent beings taking over and machines shutting down and everything. And so I would say this to Christian people. There's a law in the universe that says the creation cannot be greater than the creator.
That's right.
And that's a law that applies even to God himself. It's not possible for God to create something that is greater than God. That's the limitation that restricts even God himself. And so it's not possible for us to create an intelligence that is self-aware and experiences consciousness, because we don't know how that happens ourselves. We can't build a self-aware machine because we don't know how we're self-aware. We don't know how we wake up in the morning. We don't know how our brain processes reality. So we can't teach a machine to do it. I mean, we can film ourselves stirring a pot or carrying a paper towel and teach the machine to mimic that. But that's not self-aware, and that's not consciousness. That is just a machine going through a memorized motion.
Well, hey, John, thank you very much. If you guys have not checked out Comedian Next Door on the Fight Laugh Feast Network, make sure you download the app. Go in your app store, type in Cross Politics or type in Fight Laugh Feast. I think one of those, or maybe even Comedian Next Door. It should get you to the app. And download the app where you can check out all our shows on the network. So until next time, John, thank you for joining us. If you are single, get married. If you're married, have kids. If you have kids, go baptize them. Until next week. Tomorrow, I'll be here tomorrow. Love God with your whole heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor yourself. Go fight, laugh, and feast. This is Cross Politics.